Hello, hello. I never know if this is working or not. um, yes, okay, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. For those of you who were here last time, you saw me very confused. You'll see it again. Okay, let's look. Looks like lots of people are coming on LinkedIn. Oh, good. Now the chat's actually working in this app this time. Perfect. I don't have to do anything weird. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hi, Akshay. Yes, I talked to you this morning. How are you? Hello, Germany. Hi, thank you, Marlon or Marlon. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Hello, Vijay. Hello. Sorry, I feel I need to get more comfortable reading names and having me saying them wrong. But I want to read names more. Just tell me if I'm saying it wrong or ignore me if you don't even care. Hi, Vijay. Hi, Nofel or Nofel. Hello, Lalit. Hello, Carlos. Hi, Rishav. Hi, pre press I can't. I'm gonna call you Prash. I'm so sorry. Um, hello, S. S Lee. Test. Yes, test is working. Um, Devendra. Hello. Camilo. Hello. Darlene. Hello. Amir. Hello. Lavit. Hello again. Okay. All right. I'm just reading hellos. That's gonna get boring for everybody very quickly, I'm sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. So perfect. That's a question right away. Thank you so much, Xander Cross. I assume is how you'd say that. Um, can I suggest some great free resources channels for AI, deep learning, or data science? Yes, of course. It looks like you're from YouTube, which means you have the proper description. So if you go to the description of this, then that's you're good to go there. Hi, Adatia, Adatia, I think. Um, I'm good, thank you. How are you? How are you doing? Load in the questions, people. Just start firing away. I of course I want to hopefully not say the same thing. A lot of the time I end up saying the same thing, which is literally just go to the description of this. So if you are here right now and you're asking the question, or you want to know the answer, what are some great materials? Just check the description of wherever you're from. LinkedIn, I'm not quite sure how it looks. It should have a fair amount of it. It might cut something off. YouTube should go there, and that means if you're on LinkedIn and not subscribed on YouTube, then go there. Hello, Data World. Hi, Data World. What is my target by the end of 2022? Like in terms of subscribers, like my goals, my hello Arshia, how's it going? How are you doing? What do you mean by target? What am I like my yeah, I don't know. Not sure what that means. I can tell you in general what I'm doing, but this is an ask me anything. So this is your time. If you have any sort of questions or doubts, um, any sort of question, like just fire away, and I promise you I'll give you a great, as well as I can, answer. The meme horizon. Hello, meme horizon. Uh, is it okay to feel that you're forced to learn R? uh, I was forced to learn R. Um, I I have an act of offending people by being too open on my feelings of R. But yes, it's okay to feel that as opposed to Python that I feel great to work with and learn. Yeah, I know. I'm right with you, man. Um, yeah, for sure. Career goal. What is my career goal for this year? Um, I don't know, honestly. I'm looking at a lot of different things. I am considering the bigger tech companies. I love doing this. Right now, I am really just trying to finish school. The reason I haven't done too much, the LinkedIn people, yeah, you've probably seen me more active than ever. The YouTube folks, you probably have seen me less active than ever. I actually just filmed a video before this, so you'll get to see that I'll probably post that right after this. Um, Anyways, my career goal right now, my goal is just to finish my university degree, which I finish in nine days is my last exam ever. So that'll be great. Hello, new bar from Azerbaijan. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but I think that's pretty close. Hello, Mukhtar, I think. Um, Hi, can you please share some examples of one-line Python codes that are asked in the interview of data science? Um, I'm not going to share you code right now. That would take a lot of effort and kind of distracting. Um, Examples of one-line Python code. No one asks that. So just to be clear, and this doesn't mean to be rude, there's very, very few people that would ask sort of one-line Python code for interviews. Um, Being able to explain what things are doing is very useful. Like model.fit is one line, uh, there's a lot that goes into it. Like it starts spewing out, it's training this neural network that's already been defined, and there's a whole bunch to do with that. But there's no like, they most likely won't ask you something like, how do you do a list comprehension to build up a list? Or they might, I don't know, they might, but probably not. Hey, you want to ask about systems? Okay. Oh, that kind of systems. Okay, good. Because if you were going to say like systems design or systems engineering, I was probably screwed. Um, yeah, I can tell you about that type of system. Should I buy a MacBook Air with 16 gigs of RAM? It's funny. I actually just talked about this in the video that I was talking about, or the video I just filmed. I actually just talked about this exact thing: 16 gigs RAM and 512 SSD. But between an Air and a MacBook Pro, um, I mean, I'm pretty sure. So the Pro is more expensive, right? The Pro is more expensive, but faster. Also, I assume you mean so M1. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. 16 gigs RAM. You definitely need 16 gigs RAM. 512 SSD, that's pretty great. I'm not much of a Mac user, so I don't really know those things. I just know like what 16 gigs of RAM and 512 SSD is, and I know a tiny little bit about like the Air. Like obviously the Air is lighter, um, but they're all pretty fast. I I think the answer is get the Pro if you can. Maybe others in the comments can help me answer that. Hi buddy, hello Farshid. Hi, Pratyush. Sorry, I feel like a jerk saying names slow and wrong. I promise I'm just trying my best. um, Kier, Kirthivaz. I need to practice the. It's great practice for me saying these names. Kirthivazan. I'm going to go with that. Does competitive programming required to crack FANG companies for a data science role? Yes, that is literally just like an answer. Yes. Competitive programming, meaning the umbrella of, um, yeah, I mean, I think that's actually, yeah, competitive umbrellaing is the competitive program. Did I just say competitive umbrellaing? That'd be quite the sport. Competitive programming is necessary to get through FANG jobs. Uh, to get to other companies, like medium or lower tier companies, generally you need also the same thing, but not to the same degree. And then for some roles, they might not ask anything at all. But for FANG, I believe all of them, including the stuff that should be FANG but's not FANG, like Microsoft, I believe all of them ask those types of questions pretty much to the level of a software engineer, maybe slightly less, but pretty much. Hey, do you think that BSc, isn't that a, I'm feeling that's Bachelor's of Science, so I feel like I have the acronym wrong. I do ask that most people, unless an acronym is extremely, extremely common, try to just say the words because there's a lot of different letters. Um, BSc, I'm reading as Bachelor's of Science, which I feel like is wrong. And is that even what? I don't even know if that's even right. I don't know what that means. Please ask that again. Sorry. Hey, nice YouTube channel, Vlatka. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. No questions. Just want to thank you for my content. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad it's helping you, Camilo. And Keith, can we do data structures and algorithms in Python? Is it okay? Yeah, for sure. So I guess the point, you're probably asking this because people always tell you to do it in either Java or C. And yes, if you are wanting to learn those things, I actually do recommend trying to force yourself to learn C and C++. And if you don't know Java already, I don't really see a point of learning Java over Python. But C and C++, if you're going the data structures and algorithms route, it would be quite helpful to understand those things. Just how you point memory addresses, to each other, like a linked list, and like a linked list in Python it feels way too natural, and it's great. Like it's incredibly easy, but also that's difficult to understand what it's actually doing because it abstracts pretty much everything. So it's okay. And of course, like when you're on the job, like, and you need to do some sort of like depth first search or something, there's times when you would do that in Python because you're coding in Python. But for learning it, it's a lot easier in C and C++. Not easier, it's harder, but you learn it better. You can start to be a data scientist by looking at some of the content that I have linked in the description. Um, Start with the IBM data science, the machine learning engineering course, the deep learning specialization. Have I used some make package, snake make? I've used make in C++ actually, like make files. Other than that, I don't know. You're very welcome, Mukhtar. How to start with Kaggle? Go to Kaggle. Honestly, that's kind of what Kaggle's for. Um, they have competitions that you could just go and click on, and they're year round. Like they're always running. They're free. Like the California housing one, for example. You're not going to make any money. You're not. No one's going to care what you're doing. Um, but for learning, you can just go ahead and do it. If you mean how to start with Kaggle, and how to start being actually competitive with Kaggle to the point where not necessarily making money still, that's for mainly researchers, or people that are really really good at it practically. If you want to get like build up your portfolio, with like the medals and whatever through Kaggle, then start from the bottom and just keep applying different algorithms to get used to things, like to solve the California housing problem 50 different ways through do a PCA, do an autoencoder, do a random forest, do a linear regression, naive Bayes, do everything, do one after the next, average things, use different pre-processing techniques, do whatever you possibly can, and then you'll start to realize that everything's the same. Like you just have to try everything, and then for difficult problems, uh, you have to have domain knowledge, or at least you get domain knowledge. Like for self-driving cars, of course they'll use stuff like object detection, but you learn that when you can. Kaggle's great. You just go and whatever problem you feel like solving, just go ahead and do it. Hello, Roshan from India. GitHub profile, is it important for a data scientist? Um, yes and no. It can be. I think the best way to phrase it is that it can be, but it's not necessarily something that if you don't have a phenomenal GitHub, but you do have many good things elsewhere, like it's your bottleneck or the thing that's dragging you down is not going to be your GitHub profile. But at the same time, like if you do start putting lots of stuff on your GitHub, people are forking your repositories, they're following you, you have some really good projects, then yeah, of course, GitHub's great. Can a data engineer become a data scientist? A janitor and a garbage disposal person could become a data scientist. A data engineer could do that, become a data scientist very easily. You almost certainly already know like ETL, SQL, maybe Spark, probably simple and possibly complex analytics. You just need to learn machine learning. So literally, a data engineer that knows machine learning is a data scientist, basically. Hello. What's that? So the names are so small. That's actually more the reason I'm having trouble reading them is not the name, but it's so small on the screen. Um, Estifa. Hi, Greg. Have you ever tried similarity-based modeling in data science? If yes, that's pretty awesome. If no, is it pretty lame? Um, Similarity-based modeling. There's a lot of different things that could mean. Um, I believe in what you're referring to. I'm not an expert. Um, like similarity, as in like trying to figure out if one face matches another face. If so, there's like certain loss functions that you can use to set that up to make it work. It's getting to be a little too complex for this discussion, I think. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm truthfully not, I don't think I'm an expert in what you're referring to. But I don't know. You're so welcome, Oleitan. I really appreciate your kind words. Hello, Milan from India. Do we need data structures and algorithms for cracking data science roles? Yes and no. Uh, I so in my most recent job, which is one data point out of many, but in my most recent job, I didn't get asked that type of thing. I did get asked an object-oriented programming question, um, but that's not like they didn't need me to code like a do some greedy algorithm, do dynamic programming, that type of thing. But so generically, it just depends. So for FANG jobs, they absolutely will require you to be very good at data structures and algorithms. For simpler jobs, not necessarily like worse jobs, just jobs that have a less strict interview process. Um, Many of them still will require you to be relatively good at it. Um, but also, if you just refuse to learn it, but you also are really good at machine learning and deep learning stuff, you will find a placement somewhere. And why is the green screen glowing behind me? Great. That's fine. Um, okay. Hope that helped. Make files. Okay. Yeah, I've done make files in C++, nothing in Python. I didn't actually know it had anything. To be honest, I kind of forget what it's for, other than well, making files. But um, hey, Greg, I always end up given a task, data intern, that hits too close on business case analysis. I'm not quite sure what that means. The thing is, I don't know a single metric slash term related to business. Meanwhile, I am a ship undergrad. I don't know what ship undergrad means. Um, Unless you mean ship as in SHIT, spelt differently. I hope not. Hits too close on business case analysis. Yeah, I can't follow that. If Daryl, if you could rephrase that, maybe I could maybe explain a little bit better. Anurag, hi, how are you? Mustafa, is it better to learn math and stats parallel with learning Python and doing projects, or is it better to learn math and stats first? Um, so you can do either way. Um, what I usually recommend doing if you want to learn machine learning uh, is probably to understand the math a bit first if you can. Maybe if you are a literal complete beginner, like it's your first day, ignore math and just look at what the code is doing. Get an overall feel of like, okay, you write code this way, it's producing this. I don't know how, I don't know what it's doing, or I don't know how it's doing it, but I at least kind of get what it's doing and the reasons for that. Um, After that, probably should learn a bit of math first. It's not necessary. Um, yes, Ariane, there's jobs in data science for freshers. That's just a yes question. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, so I personally would learn the math first if you can. Um, it's a tricky answer as to what, but personally, I would stick with what Andrew Ng does in his course, which is basic linear algebra, like basic linear algebra, just what vectors are, what matrices are, and how to do stuff with them. So multiplication between them, addition, that type of thing. Then to Basically, machine learning is about minimizing functions, and you have to understand what functions are, what minimizing means. We minimize them locally, usually, but not always. Um, and you do that through calculus. So I would probably learn a little bit of calculus to understand that as well. So basically, basic linear algebra, basic calculus. Um, if you understand a little bit about how, in general, math works, like functions, basically, I'm referring to a grade 12 math course like calculus and vectors. And then first year, the basics, like the first 3 weeks of undergraduate mathematics, is really all you would need to get really going there. Um, that's my recommendation. Sorry, if I was trying to stumble, or not, definitely not trying to stumble. I was stumbling a bit because there's just so many different answers that you can give. You really can like learn all the math and then start coding. You can start coding, do a bunch of it, learn math in between. Either way, I feel like you're gonna always end up going back to the math somehow. And so I would say just don't put it off. Like as long as you're learning something that interests you, then you're doing the right thing, and that you're learning. If you ever get stuck, like if something's interesting to you, but you can't learn it because you're stuck on you need to do some other math, then go do the math, and just keep doing things that interest you and that you can things that you can do is really the answer there. But if I was to give advice like math, I would probably do a bit of math first. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that was a long answer. Can I do data structures and algorithms round in Java for a data science role? Is that allowed? Maybe, maybe not. That's all I can say. It's really up to the discretion of the particular job, and even on a particular job, whatever interviewer you happen to have. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Hey, Akash, can you share some resources for me to practice Python? To practice Python or to learn Python? Hi, nice to see you live. You're awesome. I really appreciate that. Unfortunately, it only calls you LinkedIn users, so I don't know who you are. But the the random nice words from whoever it might be. Oh, Ferris. Oh my God. How's it going, Ferris? Um, I'm a cutie. Just one question regarding stats. How much inferential statistics or hypothesis testing is being used in real-time use cases? Uh, so if you know it, then you would definitely apply it. Hypothesis testing is that specific term is generally more so for statisticians, but that's not at all. That doesn't at all mean that we don't use hypothesis testing. For example, if you do like run a regression, then it'll do a hypothesis testing for you. Same thing with logistic regression. There's this thing called A/B testing, which is basically the exact same thing as hypothesis testing, just phrased a little bit differently. So it's very useful. I hope you at least, it doesn't mean you need to understand like all of the different probability distributions and all of the different hypothesis testing things that you can do. Although honestly, I wish I had memorized them and a little bit more because I feel like I could use it a lot more often than I do. Um, yes, I would learn hypothesis testing, and the huge umbrella of inferential statistics is a lot. But that idea of hypothesis testing for sure. Yeah. Yes. Okay. What is the future of UI/UX engineer? I have no idea. Is UI/UX going to be an important part for ML and data science? I really don't know. Genuinely have no idea. Uh, I'm gonna butcher another name. I'm so sorry. Abdel Karim. I'm gonna go with that. What Python projects would I recommend for practicing? Um, Again, practice. So it's a kind of a maybe it's just how we communicate differently. It's not at all an insult. No. Um, the way that I read that is a little bit weird because Python projects, the reason you do a project is to learn if you don't know too much, or to you do a project because you're trying to show off your portfolio. Um, So if you're referring to, so by the way, do you mean data science and machine learning? Because I could talk more about that. But if you just leave it as Python, like there's so many different things. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different answers. Um, Hi, Greg. What for you? What is the first step to be a good data scientist? Well, I mean, to be any data scientist, there's a lot of work you have to put into it, um, and you really shouldn't call yourself that until you. There's a lot of different things that you've done. Coding, if you don't know how to code, then I would definitely recommend doing that. Um, uh, yeah, I kind of go into this assuming that most people know coding already, although maybe it's a bad assumption. I don't know. Um, then analytics, statistics, the mathematics is more so a prerequisite for understanding the machine learning algorithms, which is very useful. Um, it's, yeah, most of the math stuff is not actually useful on its own. It's just useful for understanding things that do are actually useful, with an exception to what I just said about the hypothesis testing and statistics stuff. That is pretty much immediately applicable. Um, where was I? Yeah, so to be a data scientist, really what you have to do, you have to be able to code. You need statistics and basic mathematics knowledge so that you can understand the machine learning algorithms. How would I learn that? I would learn that through, if you go to the description, you are from LinkedIn. I'm not sure if it's cut off or not. If you check most of my YouTube videos, it'll have in the description of most of the content there, and it starts with like just Python with data science libraries, doing machine learning. You probably should know the machine learning algorithms themselves, which I would learn through Andrew Coursera course. The deep learning stuff from Andrew's specialization, absolutely, you need to know that stuff. So to be a good data scientist, what I would actually say, like you should know machine learning and deep learning really, really well. It's just that first step, like that's probably not your first step. It's just the most important step to get there. Ferris, you're working from home. Cool. What's your job, buddy? Um, you're pretty happy. Pretty happy is good. It's good. I would try to be very happy, but pretty happy is a good option too. Yeah, been good. Thanks. Data lover. Do you love data? Are there jobs? Okay, data lover. You're also Ariane. I'm pretty sure because you're asking the same question. Are you really coming in here with and just saying the same thing over and over and over again? Um, yes. Still, yes. I don't know how to say that name, Maz. Please recommend some beginner level data science projects. Check my playlists on YouTube. You're from YouTube, so I guess you're familiar. Um, yeah, I have lots of stuff on YouTube there. Yes, there are jobs for freshers in data science. Um, I don't want to block you because I like that you're subscribed on YouTube, but at the same time, I don't know. Uh, hi, hi Yi. Aside from regression, statistics, probability, do advanced statistics courses such as generalized linear models matter? Um, yeah, I learned a bunch of useful stuff when I took generalized linear models a little while ago. I realized that actually already the machine learning stuff has an amazing crossover, um, and they are basically the same thing from a different perspective, sometimes the same perspective. Stuff like logistic regression comes up in generalized linear models. It is probably the most often used generalized linear model, um, and it's useful to understand that for sure. Yeah, I would recommend if you can. I would assume you're asking because you're in some sort of statistics or degree where those courses are an option. And if that's true, then absolutely would recommend. Yeah. Is ML a distraction for people learning data science? Oh, no, no, no. ML basically is data science. Like, I don't consider you to be a data scientist unless you know machine learning and probably deep learning. A lot of people would still, like, there's still a lot of jobs that are data science, but you don't need to know machine learning. That's really just analytics. Um, machine learning is not a distraction. I think it's the most important thing you could possibly learn. So I would definitely recommend that. Hello, Mandy. How are you doing? Looks like I hit the bottom, so I'm just going to check LinkedIn. Okay, lots of people still here, so ask some questions if you're still listening. What's happening on YouTube here? I sound like I'm just like watching videos now. I mean, I'm just trying to find my own stream. Can't seem to find it somehow. Ask some questions, folks. Okay, not too many people on YouTube, but lots on LinkedIn still. Okay, nice to see you live as well. Saeed, I assume is how I would say that. Nice to see you. Yes, nice to see you too. Pansako, I have been using Hive at work to write Hive SQL, but it has been very slow. Oh yeah, I can recall something very similar to that for sure. Yep, 3 million rows of data. Any Python trick that can make it faster? No. So if you can use Spark, I believe Spark is faster. But no, it's most likely if things are very slow, uh, that possibly might just be how it is, and that's how it is. Or possibly there's some sort of a database design problem where there's too much information and it needs to be spread out and organized differently. You're in your first year of your undergrad in, is it computer science and engineering, CSE? I don't think I know that acronym. What skills should I focus on in order to become a data analyst? Statistics for sure. John Cena, nice. Statistics for sure. SQL, definitely need to learn SQL as quick as possible. What else for an analyst? Yeah, honestly, all the data like stuff. So SQL, still Python or R. Maybe if you're only ever plan on doing just data analyst, then R might be the way to go. But I still really prefer Python. I just think it's a lot better at doing many things. Yeah, statistics, Python, SQL, and then if you want to go a step up, machine learning and deep learning is probably the right thing to do. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm definitely going to say this wrong. Shiwanek. Hi, is JavaScript, are JavaScripts helped to master data scientist? Do you need JavaScript to master data science? No. Do you want, if you want to make pretty front ends that involve machine learning, then yes. But no, it's not a requirement. You could get very far and excuse me. You could get as far as anybody could. If you don't learn JavaScript, if you do other things, make yourself useful elsewhere, it's not a requirement. John Cena, is there any laptop specifications to learn data analytics? Not really. I always recommend at least 8 gigs of RAM in SSD if you can, and a good enough CPU. For data analytics, honestly, you don't really need anything. Like, you're not going to be running anything super heavy on your computer. I don't think doing the cloud-based stuff like Google Colab or Kaggle is probably fine. Hi, I don't know if it's Sheikh or Shaikh. Hello, where can we find solutions for errors occurred in machine learning algorithms? Where can we find solutions for errors occurred in machine learning algorithms? Oh, I think I misinterpreted it wrong the first time. But you mean errors as in like how can you diagnose predicting the, like if a model is wrong in many ways, are you saying how can we try and like make it better, or how can we diagnose if it's where it is wrong? Hi Yi, you're welcome. Another 2 questions, of course. After doing Engineering's ML course on Coursera, what do I recommend to take ML to the next level? Engineering's deep learning specialization, 100%. As further you can specialize in deep learning is a very, very good thing for you to do. Could you explain a bit about data science positions that require different levels of proficiency in ML? Okay, sure. So there is, of course, so the word data science, like it just means being good with data. But I think that a data scientist is really someone that knows machine learning relatively well, not necessarily extremely well, but hopefully pretty well. Um, there's many people that consider data science to be the same thing as analytics, which makes it very confusing. You should It should be a different term if it's a different thing. Um, and because no one calls whatever. I'm going I'm going on a tangent because I'm annoyed about it. Basically, it's hard to answer this question because of how people you interchange terminology. There are many data science jobs that will be called data scientist, and they don't have any machine learning. I disagree with that, but they exist. Uh, Most of them will require some sort of level of machine learning experience, and I really do mean some sort of level, as in you very well might be good at at computer vision, but if you show an interest in natural language processing, you might be able to shift to that without having any proof on your resume. Of course, do I advise that if you're trying for that? No, I would always show that you're as interested in something as you can. Um, but uh, but there's many different jobs that all just require you to understand how machine learning models are trained, basically what they do, why we use them, how do you train them, actually you training them yourself, and not just understanding the math about how they're done. um, and so there's jobs that range all around of training different models, some that are more visualization focused, some that are that use different tools like Power BI versus just you doing whatever comes to your mind, or other companies being kind of strict about what you use. Like, of course, Google would want you to use probably Google based stuff. And yeah, so a lot of different jobs. I hope that maybe helped a little bit. If you want to know just maybe some of the different domains, like there's natural language processing, working with language, computer vision, working with pictures and videos, which is just a sequence of pictures. So really pictures. Um, there you can get really far into the computer vision based stuff, and actually there's like 3D based models now. Um, yeah, ye let me know, and hopefully I'm saying that right. Ye let me know if there's something that I can further provide there. Otherwise, I hope that's okay. When the cloud provides AWS when the cloud provides hundreds of models which take data to provide the analysis. No, not sure if it's hundreds of models or 100 seconds for models. Any comments on machine learning engineers in building models? Any saturation point for building models? I don't quite understand that question. Could you maybe, it was a lot of words already, and I appreciate that. Could you be even more specific on what you're asking there? Hi, Mark. Nice to see you in the comments. Gam Gam, what to do after the deep learning specialization? Hopefully you found something interesting, basically. So the whole point of the deep learning specialization means that you probably understand the machine learning stuff pretty well. You know how to train models. Maybe, some things are still fuzzy, and that's fine. Um, but hopefully something interested you is really the goal of that. And it gives you enough knowledge that you are ready to explore that. If you have, and don't worry about how difficult it is, if you are at all interested in working with language, go do NLP. If you like images, go do computer vision. If you like any domain that's not, just strictly into those two things, like real estate or finance or whatever, go to that. Just do any of those. Sure. Again, I don't know if it's Shake. I'm gonna go with Shake. What is the exact roles and responsibilities to data scientists in real time work? Um, well, I don't know. I've only worked, 4 or 5, and I can tell you what I've done in those. But in general, what you're welcome, Yi. Um, you work with data and you do what they want you to do, or you do what you want to do, based off of what time you have in the day. You often end up making visualizations. You run reports to understand, maybe how a particular product is performing. You're maybe making a new product that relies on machine learning. You are making a presentation explaining any of these things, suggesting any of these things. Yeah, any of those things. You're welcome. Okay. Andon, I assume it's Andoniv, and then your last name starts with a P. Andoniv. Greetings from Spain. Hello, hello. How are you, Nedwin? I definitely remember you. Hello. Glad to be here and watching Data Science Sensei. Yes, yes, I am your Data Science Sensei. How do I do it? Is it? Oh, I just hit the mic. It's like I don't even know. um, I just started looking at myself. It's really distracting because I'm literally looking at myself like 10 seconds in the past. um, okay. Thank you for showing up, Nedwin. I really appreciate that. Um, is DevOps important for data scientist or data engineer? Yeah, yeah. Learn that stuff. Like GitHub, deploying models. I actually, that's why I've kind of started working on. I was actually gonna make a GitHub video probably soon. Um, the problem is I never have the Git stuff memorized, so it'd be tough for me to just make a video immediately on it. Sorry, I just kicked the camera. You'll probably notice that. Um, I lost my train of thought again. Yeah, the DevOps stuff. What was the term I was thinking? Docker. Yeah, learn Docker as well for sure. Thanks, Shiwanek. You're welcome. I really am your hero. Well, that really means. Oh, I just saw myself kick the camera. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted by this. Yes, I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. Are Hadoop and Scala important skills for data scientists? Scala not necessarily. Depends on the company. Hadoop, again, maybe. Depends on the company. I would definitely say maybe, but not necessarily. As opposed to something like data visualization, Python, SQL, I can say just guaranteed for sure. Hadoop and Scala, maybe, maybe not. Kruti, tips to get into Fang as a software engineer. I mean, honestly, just apply like absolute mad. Like just click, 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 click. For Google, you can only do 3, but for all the other ones, you can literally just apply to everything. Just apply to everything. Message people on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, and to get in, it's really just the lead code grind. Like just do all the lead code questions that you can, and you'll eventually get in. That's really it. Most challenging part about working as a data scientist is, how do I phrase it? I know the answer. I'm just trying to put it into words. You run into roadblocks a lot, which makes it very fun. But sometimes it sounds very trivial when you say it aloud. Like you run into roadblocks, but like you do. Like in the moment, like you might be really stuck on something, and you're trying desperately to like make a machine learning model better, or you're trying to understand, like, I don't know, you're trying to make a new product, and you're not getting the results that you want, or maybe you're even stuck on ideas on how to make stuff better. And that's what a team is for solving problems, for innovating, for automating. But it comes up a lot, or like you just get stuck. And especially, like, I'm sure anyone that's had considerable programming experience as well, well familiar with just running into stupid coding errors. Like, you get hired as a data scientist, and your first 2 weeks are installing TensorFlow because they require this exact version with this exact Python version, and you need Docker set up in this particular way. Like it's a specific example, but that sort of stuff comes up like all the time. And there's various roadblocks like that that are, yeah, it's fun though. That's why I like it. Like that's literally why I enjoy it so much. It's that it makes it difficult. It's innovative. It's new, as well as it's very broad, but specific when you want to be. You're welcome. What is the ideal time for spending on exploratory data analysis or preparation of data versus evaluating models and visualization? To be honest, no one cares. So this is, I don't mean this in a rude way. Uh, I kind of understand the point of view that you have right now, which is, people are telling you things like you should do 20% exploratory data analysis and then spend 40% of time on models. Or maybe they're just showing you different things like this is exploratory data analysis. This is that. This is that. This is that. In practice, you just do stuff. You do what you need to do in a company. You do what you want to do on your own time. And there's nothing that will. There's no sort of percentage that someone cares about where it's like an employer notices that you didn't spend enough time in this project on data analysis. Um, they will be interested in things and they will be annoyed by things, but there's no sort of like they this is the right amount or anything like that. You simply just need to make things that are interesting. If you're trying to if you're trying to learn, do whatever and just learn. If you're trying to make something interesting, don't worry about sort of percentages. Just make stuff interesting. And of course, if you're in a company, then do what you need to do. It's always just do what you want to do, though. That's the answer. Okay, I believe I'm going to call it, even though 11 a.m. is usually relatively popular time. How many people are here? I'm just taking a look. Claims 28 on LinkedIn and not many on YouTube. You need a roadmap. Let me describe to you Hide Weapon. Very interesting name. Sorry, I'm just looking at something for 1 second. LinkedIn's kind of crashing for me right now. It doesn't say how many people are here right now. I'm confused. Whatever. So I'll describe to you a roadmap right now. You are from YouTube. Perfect. Go into the description of whatever you're watching right now. There is a bunch of different things. You should do the IBM Data Science and then the Coursera Machine Learning course and then the Andrew Ng Deep Learning specialization and then whatever you want from there. If you ever run into any issues, if it's in mathematics, then take the Mathematics for Machine Learning course that's in there as well. If there's any courses in the description that you find interesting at any time and you think you can do them instead. But that is my general rule of thumb, is the IBM Data Science to start with, and then Andrew Ng Machine Learning, then Andrew Ng Deep Learning. The goal basically is to get a decent understanding of the various environments, like Python and SQL, and then start doing really cool things like training machine learning models and deep learning models, basically. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, LinkedIn's confusing me, as always. Okay. I yeah, I don't know how many people are on LinkedIn because it's not telling me. Oh, I could just no, it's not telling me here either. Okay, so LinkedIn doesn't even know. Is it still 28? It says 28 every now and then. I'm confused. Um yeah, I think it is. Well, I don't know. Is there any more questions? No, not seeing anything right now. Okay. I think I'm gonna go then. If you are on YouTube, please drop a like. If you're on LinkedIn, please drop a like. I really appreciate that. I see that many of you did already. The stream on LinkedIn has like 60 likes, which is really nice of you guys for doing that. It helps a lot. Hey Omar, or Omer, one of the two. I want to study computation neuroscience, but I have an option to study data science. Do we need the math for machine learning only? Oh, sorry, I saw the YouTube symbol and I thought that was a follow-up. Um, you want to study computational neuroscience, but you have an option to study data science. That's not really a question. If you're asking which one you prefer or like you want to do, I don't know which one you want to do. Um, the, the, I'm not gonna just suggest you do data science because I like it. I'm here assuming that you do like it and encouraging you to pursue it if you have a doubt for it. Do whatever you think is most interesting. Uh, should I use it? Should I? You have an option. Oh, you want to study computational neuroscience, but you have an option like a college option, like you're. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I thought you meant alternative. I think yeah, you mean like on the side do data science. Yeah, I mean if you think it's interesting for sure. Myowa, hi Greg, which programming language is the best for data analytics? Strictly for analytics, to be honest, R is slightly better, but Python I like so much more because you can do so many more things as analytics. Um, it gets more complicated, not just like, averages and standard deviations. Um, Both R and Python, you can do all the complicated stuff. It's just that when things do get complicated, I find that Python at least has my back a little more commonly. We should start with machine learning or data science. It's tricky with the terminology because data science encompasses machine learning. What is machine learning? Generally, machine learning means training models, predictive models, and data science means working with data, which might mean that. Start with data science, like analytics based stuff, but machine learning is cooler, in my opinion. So I would transition to that if you can. Can I find a job with a bachelor degree only? I would try to improve your portfolio and make it as public and interesting as you can. But if you mean without a master's degree, which is what I assume you're asking, Ibrahim, yes, of course, there's lots of jobs you can get with a bachelor's. If a master's interests you, or if you think that you are stuck without a master's, then by all means. But I'm telling you that you don't necessarily need one. Need a master's. Mohammed, is data architecture responsibility a step toward future data engineering? I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. Data architecture responsibility a step toward future. I don't really know what that means. I'm sorry. Mayowa, hi Greg. I swear I already answered that. Yep, that's the same question. Oh, but you went from LinkedIn and went over to YouTube. I'm okay with that. Sorab, is answering course good for machine learning? Yes, 100%. It's my recommendation. You have questions, man. Hey man, what are the skill sets required and how to cover them up? SQL, Python, machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, general model training. To do those, you might need some linear algebra and calculus, basic mathematics. Yes, I love Tesla's full self-driving advancements. I would love to own one when I have more money, and when it becomes more legal, I suppose. How to connect with people, like how to initiate first to connect for referrals in LinkedIn. Um, well, it depends. I don't know all of the LinkedIn details, um, but so by connect, I hope you mean connect like in a personal level, because I actually get a ton of messages where people literally just like ask me, like I'm not gonna call them out. If you're here, it's funny. Like someone just said today, like, "Hey, I need someone from NASA for a podcast or something," and I was like, "I no, like I don't. Firstly, I don't know anyone from NASA, and it's the same thing. Like so many people ask for like referrals or whatever. So please don't be a person that just messages people and asks for a referral because they will say no, and all you will do is just kind of ruin a connection with somebody that you may have had in the future. It just won't work, and it's a waste of time. Uh, Assuming that's not what you mean, of course you can connect with people and talk to people on the internet, on LinkedIn, whether you've met them in person or not, of course. And so you can press the connect button, and that will request them to talk, to do a connect back. Often people are looking for the same type of thing, so they will press that. Um, but also, there's a lot of people that will simply decline the request, and that's okay. But you don't get into jobs just by asking people for referrals. Um, sure, referrals help 100%. Like companies do draw a ton from referrals, um, but they're generally through like knowing people well, and so you just actually talk to those people and be like, hey, give me a referral, rather than messaging someone random saying, give me a referral. I hope that made some sense. How to balance between understanding business problems, formulating solutions, and developing technical skills, coding, core math knowledge. Um, you just learn. I don't know. Like there's how to balance. I don't know. Um, you got to learn a bunch of different things. Can I make a video about the grid search on CNN and LSTM models? Grid search is just a way to kind of find hyperparameters. Uh, and CNN and LSTM are two models that all of them do, but all have hyperparameters. Sure, I can do something on grid search, yeah, but if you're looking for that, just look elsewhere and you'll find something. I promise. Best analytics projects for a beginner. Um, yeah, California housing from Kaggle. Um, what is it? You're very welcome. Um, Yeah, California housing. Go to Google Colab, and check the data sets that they have there, which is already loaded in. California housing, and actually you said beta. Sorry, you said analytics, so not machine learning. How do dragons blow out candles? Oh no, is this a bad joke coming? Um, for analytics projects, honestly, I don't know what's interesting. So the problem I have with just base analytics is like it's kind of boring. I don't know. Like I can't think of a project that you could do that's super interesting with analytics other than just doing analytics on something. Like using SQL and Python to do whatever. You would know as much as I would. Whereas with machine learning, I could suggest a bunch of different things, but I don't know. I guess I don't know what to say. Hi Shivu, I definitely recognize your. Yeah, I definitely recognize you. Um, the dog picture. How could I forget? I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? I am probably gonna drop off very soon though. You're very welcome, Omer. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, if yeah, I'll probably post that YouTube video. I just I talked about. I don't know if you guys saw the post I made about like the things that make me more productive, and in turn make many of you more productive. I made a video where I just talked about that for 15 minutes or so, and I'm gonna post that today, probably shortly after this. So check that out if you want. Um, yeah, thanks so much for stopping by. If a quiz is a quizzical, What is the chest? Ha! I get it. Oh boy. All right, right on an hour to go. Okay, see you guys. Thanks so much. If I can figure out how to do that. There we go.